Okay, cool. Okay. I am a thought form of what is. I'm a hungry man's delicious. I'm an internal war's bloodshed. I'm every word of every book that I've ever read, like see Dick run. As soon as I pull the covers down to my bed, I'm line for line, paragraph for page, silence, outrage. I am center stage. I'm reverse osmosis. I am Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. I'm a master of miracles and magic. A magician given the gift of the illusions of my tricks. I'm an oracle, an orator, a profound procrastinator. Putting off till later for right now. ... ellipsis. I have such gratitude and reverence for those that paved the way. You know, they call this Black Broadway. And we have a lot of respect for people who came here before us. I mean, a lot of respect. And we would, you know, from libations before shows to understanding that the Lincoln Theater is a historical landmark, and, you know, making sure all the artists for our time take pictures in front of it and keep the venues that were home to a lot of artists that came before us. You know, from Duke Ellington to, you know, Elephant, like the jazz artists that came here and did their thing at Bohemian Caverns. Like, we kept those places alive, making sure that there was some form of art, singing, spoken word, DJs that would just spin like, you know, the Afro beat. And we kept it alive just with us, just you know what I mean, how we walk, how we are with each other. Like, there are different cliques of artists here, but we all come together, you know what I mean, like, to make up this scene. And you can find your Ella and your Duke, and you can find them in the artists that are here. You definitely can, you know what I mean. Like, I think that's how we kept it alive. We allowed them to flow through it, so we do what we do. Like, it's mad exciting to me, because you don't even know how many artists there are in this little city that are just phenomenal. Like, they're just phenomenal beings and phenomenal artists. And I feel like that comes alive in us because we walk on the same grounds as those, you know what I mean, before us. I think that's how we keep it alive. You know, we get excited about this shit. We get excited about it, you know what I mean? So it's interesting because prior to here, I just kind of chilled, like one of those pass the baton type of things, because there's so many people that were kind of coming up, that were coming to our open mics back in the day. Because I hosted at probably one of the longest running spots in DC, right there at the U Street corridor between U and V, called Mangoes. And so I knew so many people, and could get so many features and stuff, just you know, just knowing people over the years and meeting them and traveling and hosting and performing myself. So it was, yeah. It's been a wonderful ride. My inspiration, honestly, originally came from a need for therapy, probably. You know what I mean? I remember when I was 15, my mother wanted me to see a therapist, so she started going to the therapist, and the woman would ask her questions about me, and my mom would answer and be frantic. She told me this years later, and eventually she started going to see the therapist because the lady suggested that I was already doing what I wanted to do and that maybe she needed the help. But we moved here. I'm originally from Philadelphia, and when we moved here, I went into a bit of a depression. I was used to the city. I had just gotten into the high school I wanted to go to. My friends were there, my family was there, and so I kind of wrote those frustrations out. And the only way I could actually communicate them to my parents was to actually have it in poetry form. They didn't realize I was cussing that ass out, but because it's poetry. But the inspiration was a need to express some of my frustrations and anger behind things I couldn't control, to be honest with you. I have decided to actually allow some of the things that were coming through me to actually tell me what it was I was to learn next. And that probably sounds real moon stars and quasars, but I am a very abstract thinker. However, there would be times that honestly it would feel like somebody was waking me up 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, like, write this. And I'd write about this relationship that I wasn't in, wasn't necessarily thinking about having, right? And I would read it back to myself sometime later and be like, wow, like I love this person, whether I was talking about myself or another. And so I honed in on it by allowing things to kind of flow through me naturally. You know what I mean? And then my experiences, of course, I'd write about those, some heartaches, things I've learned, things I want to teach the youth. Because what I've learned in this game, in terms of DC and the U Street art scene, is that most of us, if we're not teaching, you know what I mean? Like, we learn you know, from our own travels and things we're going through, and then we teach the youth, usually through creative writing and such. And it's a very out-of-the-box way of communicating, and so that's how I kind of have honed in on it, to use it as a form of communication to younger people, to get a point across. And primarily to help them understand they're not by themselves in a lot of things. Because my story is much the same as a lot of theirs, you know what I mean? And I've dealt with youth with all types of backgrounds. I've been told I'm pretty funny. So there's a comedic twist to hosting anyway to me. Like to get up in front of people and be vulnerable and tell your story no matter how tragic, and still be able to find something funny about or laugh at yourself. But I host, I've done a lot of background vocals for people, so I do sing. I like to think that I passed that on to my daughter. She skipped right over me and said it was my father, but whatever. Yeah, and then the writing, all levels of everything. I've even done painted lady gigs. It's a sister, a couple sisters here that decided, after being inspired by The Wiz and knowing certain things that they do, like in New Orleans and even in Las Vegas, where we paint our bodies different colors and just kind of stand, like, you know, just like still. Like, that's an art form. People will stand there and watch you for minutes that turn into hours, like just to see what you're gonna do next, or just to see how very much you look like a piece of art, like not moving. So I've done painted art gigs, painted lady gigs and stuff like that. I've been afforded the opportunity to do so many different expressions of art, even dance. You know, I don't consider myself a dancer, although I can groove. Not a dancer in a traditional or studied sense, you know what I mean? But yeah. Well, I'm currently writing for a web series called No Strings Please, and to do some more writing for some shows that could potentially hit cable or TV in any sense. It's something I have some energy for. It's not a primary focus because I still do audition for things, commercials, films, even student films. But getting a dose of the writing involved in creating a series, a show, kind of got me. I got the bug now. So that and managing my daughter, I can't even, like, mother removed, her ability to reach people is it's very interesting and interesting for me to witness. And so managing her as well as writing, doing some background writing is what I'm focused on.